Now that we've clapped to start off the show, even though no one knows why we clap in the beginning of the show, it's now time to unravel some other mysteries of the year. Welcome to Last Phone Standing 2019. This is our second show. Today, it's the best 5 phones of the year 2019, and there are no subs to that. There is nothing. Price doesn't matter, which brand doesn't matter, where it came from doesn't matter. It's a free for all. Now, once again, the interesting part is the format remains the same. 5 people will represent the 5 phones. They'll talk about it for about a minute. The audience will question them, the panel will question them, and then we'll all vote on those phones. Panel and audience both get equal voting rights on this one. Let's get started with our contenders of the year. But do remember, once again, so many phones came in, but only 5 made it.
The contenders for the Last Phone Standing 2019 are Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max, Samsung Galaxy Fold, Wahwee P30 Pro, OnePlus 70 Pro, and Oppo Reno 10X Zoom.
Time now to get started with the last phone standing. Our first phone is the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and telling us all about it is Nikhil.
I'll be honest with you guys. You're judged by what phone you're holding and what you're posting through it. And in both scenarios, the iPhone excels in comparison to all the phones here. Second is privacy. Now, there's no other company that promises privacy. You're not very sure with the other phones whether your data is stored on a Chinese server or on your phone. For iPhone, it's for sure it's on your iPhone. And in today's time, your financial data, your personal information, a lot of things on your phone, and you want to be sure that it's on an iPhone, nowhere else. Secondly, I'll talk about, it's a first Pro iPhone by Apple, and it's Pro in every sense. When you talk about the Pro display, that gives you 1200 nits, where you're standing in a blaring sun, you can see it. The Android manufacturers have been making 3 setup camera smartphones for a while now. But it's only iPhone that excelled in it, and when you're switching between lenses, there's no variations, there's no jerk, everything is pristine. When you talk about the battery life, it has enhanced by 5 hours. When you talk about security, it's got everything. And if you talk about hardware, it's the best hardware. It's the strongest phone on the planet. It has the best processing power, and even Android apps run better on an iPhone.
Okay. All right, panel, questions.
Don't you think that the extra 40 or 50,000 that you're paying for the iPhone Pro, the Pro version, does it really justify? Yes, I'm getting privacy. Yes, I'm getting some specs. But do you justify that extra 40,000 that I'm paying?
Compared to what phone? I mean,
the same category in the flagship. Okay. You can get 60 to 70,000 phones in the same segment.
Absolutely. I will put any cost to privacy, to be honest. But I really don't think so I can put a cost to privacy, to be honest. But if I have to put a cost, 50,000 or 60,000 doesn't really matter. And it's not just about the better cameras or privacy. It's the overall holistic experience that iPhone offers. The synchronization between the devices, like an Apple Watch, AirPod, the ecosystem they have, that close enclosure where you feel that you're secure. I don't think so we can put a price to that.
My name is Lakshna, and my question is, why are iPhones are considered more secure, or is this a myth?
They're considered secure because they are secure. They make the hardware and software themselves. They're not reliant on another company to make it for them. So they're making it themselves. They are securing it. They're making sure that nobody else is supposed to touch it. You cannot install apps that are not safe for the system. They have a very stringent process of putting apps in the App Store. It's not like any app can come and take away your data. So they're very particular about it.
Okay, Nikhil, thank you very much. Very well presented. Gentlemen, time for you to start scoring. An audience, अगर आपको लगता है iPhone 11 Pro Max है phone of the year 2019, तो show me a green card, otherwise it's a red. Okay, so we've actually got green. Okay, so that's 95% of the people there, 99. Right? Well, it can't be, because there are about only 30 to 40 people. If we take one person out of 30, it's about 3% gone, right? Okay, fantastic. So at this present moment, I would say out of 50, I'm going to give you a 47. Fantastic, Nikhil. Very well done. Thank you very much. Let's move on now to the second phone being presented today. This is a phone that literally took the world by storm in more ways than one. The phone itself and the controversy that followed. This is the Wahwee P30 Pro, and telling us all about it is Cyrus. Cyrus, your time starts now.
Okay, so the Wahwee P30 Pro, if you look at for flagship features in a smartphone, you look at all the features, like the Wahwee P30 Pro comes with wireless charging, but reverse wireless charging, so you can charge different other wireless phones but just by touching the Huawei P30 Pro. It has the best camera in this segment, one of the best cameras with a good DxO rating. It has very good battery life. It has a 40-watt fast charger which can charge your phone in like 70% in 30 minutes. So you're looking at all the top flagship features that you're getting in this segment. And you don't have to worry about Android updates because yes, controversy might be there, but Huawei P30 Pro, even the company has said that it is in safe territory. So if you want flagship features and in a price segment for which you don't have to sell your kidney, I think the Huawei P30 Pro is a very good option. It's bundled with features and you wouldn't have to worry about anything that you're missing out on.
So a phone that actually keeps your organs intact is your tagline for this phone, right? All right, great. All right, panel, questions?
The P30 Pro is the last Android phone standing from Huawei. How do you assure the public that this is gonna keep getting updates? Because Huawei, in a way, has backed out from the market. They're not launching the flagship that they launched in China. So how do you know when they'll pull the plug for this also?
So the company made a statement clearly that they will be releasing updates for the Huawei P30 Pro. Yes, it will be the last. There are speculations whether the upcoming devices will get updates or not, but they are very sure that they will be releasing updates for the P30 Pro. If they don't, then they'll have to, they'll be sued and then the whole gets legal. So yes, they've assured the customers that they will be getting updates, regular updates for the P30 Pro.
I have a very obvious question for any Huawei phone this year. Is it advisable to buy Huawei phone in India right now? Even we have seen the good phones like P30 Pro and in US also they have banned the phone, Huawei phones.
Yeah. So if you're considering buying the P30 Pro, as I said before, you're safe, you're in safe territory, you don't have to worry about it. But in terms of other Huawei phones that are upcoming, yes, there is ambiguity around whether they will be receiving updates in the future because of the battle going on between the Chinese and the Americans. So it is not advisable that you invest in a flagship level 4 or even a Huawei phone from here on. But if you're considering the phone right now, the P30 Pro, it's absolutely safe. You can buy it. You will get regular updates. There is absolutely no problem.
All right, great. So we've got all the questions and we've got all the answers. Time for you to score it. And audience, Huawei P30 Pro, is it the best phone of 2019? Green if you think so, red if you don't. Can I just see them, please? Okay. Okay, so I would say you're a little above half, but not dramatically higher than that. So I would say I'm going to give you about 30 out of 30. 32 is the maximum I think we could stretch this to. There's one gentleman behind who I didn't count. So okay, 32 out of 50 for this one. Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you very much. Moving on now to a company that literally has become the flagship killer, but now also wants to be a super flagship. This is OnePlus, and their OnePlus 70 Pro is the one that has come into top contention in the top 5. And telling us all about the brand and the phone is Dhruv.
So there are phones on this list that the company had to go back and redesign. There are phones that you never know might not ever get an update. And then there are phones which promise that you're compensating for something by buying that phone. But then there's the OnePlus. A phone is a tool. It's not necessarily a fashion statement. It doesn't have to be. This is the best damn hardware that you're to get. It has a beautiful screen. It has incredible cameras. Maybe not the best, but pretty close to that. It lasts all day long, and you can buy 2 of these in the same amount as you can buy some of these phones. This is probably like the best phone in the high-end segment that you can get right now.
Okay, all right, great. Well spoken out here. All right, questions, panel. Okay, 2 questions from the panel. Yeah. Cyrus, you start.
Yeah, so Dhruv, wanted to understand that you're saying, yes, it is one of the best flagship phones in the segment, but it's not offering some of the most essential flagship features: water resistance, wireless reverse charging, fast charging up to 40 watts. Yes, it's giving fast charging. Wireless charging is not there, and a camera system that doesn't stand at par of what the segment offers. So what do you have to say about this? A flagship, it's competing for a flagship crown, but it's not offering flagship level features.
It gets pretty close. Battery life is good enough. I personally use the phone as my primary phone. I've never had to charge it during a day. A day and a half, to be honest. Yes, it should have had wireless charging. It's okay, it's a convenience. I can live without it. Water resistance, it is water resistant, but it does not claim IP resistance, but it is water resistant. So there's that.
What about the optics? I think that's where everybody has problems.
They've made massive strides, especially with the software updates. It is really good now. No, it is not the best, but it's okay. Like, it gets really, really close.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise, of course, you can pay $1.5 lakh or whatever for an iPhone if you really want to.
65, by the way, 65,000.
OnePlus was famous from being a startup and become a game changer, but now its phone pricing is too high and the other brand is doing the same. What makes it different now?
So while I agree with you that the costing has gone up comparatively, then again, like, I still feel that the company is giving you two options, and you are also still getting a lot of value for your money. This is one of the most affordable flagships around. I know price doesn't really matter in this challenge that we're doing, but you know, it's incredible hardware. You're getting everything that you could want. It is arguably a better software experience than even the Google Pixel, and I use a Google Pixel as well. I still think it's an incredible deal, and if you don't want to spend so much money, they're still giving you an option in a cheaper phone which has pretty much the same specifications.
Okay, so again, this is quite incredible. Just 3 people saying a no, which would be constituting maybe about 5 or 7% only. So I would say I'm going to give this a 44 or a 45 out of 50. A 45 out of 50, I think, is close enough. Yes, a 45 out of 50. Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you very much. Very well presented. So right in the middle of all this fantastic stuff, where the last phone standing will be declared on the show. We've seen a few. We will see a few more. We'll do a few subcategories right now. I'll do 2. So the first one is a phone that actually has the best chops in terms of looks. The most good-looking phone of the year. It doesn't matter what price point. It doesn't matter what category it comes under. Most good-looking phone of the year.
I would say the P30 Pro.
The Wahwee P30 Pro. Nikhil?
I'll go with the Oppo Reno 10X Zoom.
Oppo Reno 10X Zoom. All right. Dhruv?
I think the Oppo Reno 2 looks really nice.
Yes, the Oppo Reno 2 again.
I would say Huawei P30 Pro in the
All
twilight
right,
blue.
Swapnil, this is it. Tiebreaker for you.
The P30 Pro.
The Huawei P30 Pro. So I think the shocking part was that even when we as a team went through it all, these are the 2 phones we were torn between. So it actually kind of is represented. So I think it would be very, very fair to declare both of them winners, because it is 2 versus 3, but the Cell Guru team in itself was totally torn between the 2 also. So I'm declaring it right now. The Huawei P30 Pro and the Oppo Reno 2. Both the best looking phones of the year. Let's move on now to the phone we've all been waiting for, not just to be represented here, but ever since it was first announced, ever since it came out, and ever since some people have bought it, but you've never had a chance to use it. This is the most incredible phone in terms of innovation. Already on our show, it's already won the most innovative phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy Fold, and telling us all about this is Swapnil. All right, Swapnil. The Samsung Galaxy Fold that actually has the world's first folding screen. Your time starts now.
So, couple of things. All of the phones that we're talking about today are pretty much the same. They've been the same ever since the smartphone battle really started. But the Fold changes all of that. It's the first phone of its kind that finally pushes a decade-old industry to do something different and to challenge what is considered the norm. The concept of a foldable device is not just about novelty, it's also about usability. You can take a phone which becomes a tablet. I remember Rajiv, you saying that we should switch away from the paper and move to a tablet. So you have a phone in your pocket that allows you to expand the real estate and do more important things than you would want to do on a phone. So there's that. And then we've also had conversations about security. Now Samsung's Knox platform is one of the most secure on an Android platform till date. The DoD has endorsed it, the US government has endorsed it,
50
right?
seconds.
So you've got that, but at the end of the day, it's about the innovation, and that's where the Fold stands.
I'm sure it's the most innovative phone of the year, but to be honest, it's still first generation prototype kind of a thing, and there were a lot of problems. It's the most infamous Samsung phone after the Note 7, because the first time they sent it to reviewers, it broke. Second time they planned to do it, they had to postpone the launch because they were not very sure about it. So should people buy it? Because still it's the first generation product, The durability is still something that you're very sure of, and in that amount of money you can buy the best of phone and the best of tablet and use them both.
So the way I see it is, innovation will not move ahead if we as consumers don't give it a reason to. The Galaxy Fold, yes, has a few drawbacks when it comes to its form factor in terms of how delicate it is. But let's see it this way: the light bulb took 3,000 tries on the part of Edison and his team to get it right. And even when they did get it right, the bulb still fuses, even till today. Even if you have a CFL, it goes out. So in that regard, technological advancement takes time, right? And that's where the Fold is. They finally managed to get a foldable panel that doesn't just break at the touch of a finger. You have a phone that can slide into your pocket and out and survive. You have a hinge that we've seen so many live videos of the hinge being opened and closed and it's surviving, right? So I think there is a higher benchmark that we have set, yes. And I think Samsung is on the road to achieving that. But right now the Fold is pretty good. And the best part is they're not misleading you with claims.
Let's get your score in, and to the audience, Samsung Galaxy Fold folding screen के साथ क्या ये है phone of the year? Quite a few greens there, a lot of greens out here. So I would say we are safely in the 40-41 territory. Is that okay? Panel? 40-41. All right, 41 out of 50. Thank you very much, Sapneet. Thank you so much. Well presented. And the last phone standing, last phone to be presented, is a company that took a lot of gutsy decisions this year and really went up the value chain, and they really got great audience response for it. Oppo with the 10X zoom, telling us all about it. Clinton.
So the Oppo Reno 10X zoom is actually the smart choice here. Previously, obviously, OnePlus used to be the smart choice because it gave you everything that you actually wanted in a phone. But with the 10X zoom, you actually have innovation on things you actually want. You don't really want a folding phone that is also the most fragile phone in the world right now. You also don't really need a really expensive phone that gives you an okay-ish camera, but not super great. With the 10X zoom, you have the periscope camera that everyone loves about the Wahwee P30 Pro. And you have all of this at a price tag that's also somewhat approachable. It's not crazy expensive, especially compared to the competition. So today, we are in a world where previously OnePlus used to be the phone that everybody wanted and got because it was the best value for money at a flagship level. But right now, if you consider a flagship phone and innovation that you actually need, the Oppo 10X zoom is actually one of the best choices.
All right, great, very nicely presented.
Don't you think that if I buy this phone only for 10x zoom, because all the other things rather, the performance of the phone and especially the OS or the UI is just normal as compared to others, don't you think that the company is just rudimentarily presenting the phone?
It's an interesting question because in terms of specs, it's actually one of the best you can get right now. Because in terms of processor, it's a Snapdragon 855, still flagship range. In terms of camera, you also have an ultra-wide angle camera and a really good primary camera in addition to that zoom. When you actually zoom out and look at it, it's actually a pretty good value for money package at a flagship level.
Is the Oppo Reno 10X zoom the best phone of 2019? Green if you think so, red if you don't think so. All right, Clinton, you seem to have done very, very well. That side is giving you quite a few greens. This side is a little lesser. So I would say, I think a fair number would be about 37, would be about right with a, yes. So 37 out of 50, Oppo Reno 10X zoom. Thank you, Clinton. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We'll move on now to a very, very interesting category because this is where you get influenced, and that is the best marketed phone, a campaign, something a company did that really made them stand out with that phone. So best marketed phone of the year.
Yeah, I think it's the Vivo V17 Pro.
And why is that? What do you think they did different?
They brought the brand power, they brought the celebrity power of Amir Khan into the picture, and also that jingle from Tangled keeps ringing in my head every time the ad comes.
So the Vivo V17 Pro.
I think it's the iPhone. What's on your iPhone stays on your iPhone. The privacy factor. It's definitely that.
So the iPhone's is Las Vegas now. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the iPhone for me. The entire Shot on iPhone campaign. It's not a new campaign, but year on year, it just delivers the goods. You know, like it's right there in front of you, and you can just see the results for yourself.
Okay. All right, Clinton.
For me, it's also the iPhone. I think the iPhone 11 series launch was amazing in terms of how they marketed all of it. So you know exactly what you're getting with each phone. I think that's the best.
Okay, Swapnil.
I'm going to have to go with the P30 Pro. The whole shoot the moon concept, it finally breached that DSLR
Correct.
limited segment, right? It said your phone can now do what was exclusive to a DSLR. And the best part is the phone actually does it. So for me, it would be
And
the
I
P30.
think the photographers that they got in, the Leica lens and everything else. So when we were actually debating it as a campaign that stood out, I thought that was the one that we had all chosen. But of course, right now, the decision here is the iPhone, but very closely followed by, you know, if you're looking at intelligence in a campaign that truly stands out, the Huawei was absolutely fantastic. Shoot the moon. I mean, where else can a campaign go? They literally shot for the moon.
The best marketed phone of the year is the iPhone 11 series.
All right, scores with me again, and just like we had last week, though of course there the margins were even smaller, but the difference between the top phone and the bottom phone here is 11 to 12 points, which I think is remarkable, but also shows you the quality of the product that is coming out and how well it's doing. Oppo ka Reno 10X Zoom has come in at number 5. Number 4 is the OnePlus 70 Pro. So again, number 3, Samsung Galaxy Fold. Innovative phone of the year, also the third best phone of the year, which means the Huawei P30 Pro comes in at number 2. The iPhone 11 Pro Max is our phone of the year 2019. Congratulations to all the brands. Every single brand that was represented here and those that were not represented, you did a great job. Spanking incredible 2019. Only to be beaten by 2020. We can't wait. I'm sure neither can you. See you next week on our regular programming. Thank you very much for watching.